Hey Jim, I really admire all you do and have achieved. Thank you very much for your help. I'm in a complete financial mess right now and I'm trying to figure my way out of it. We're a physician couple, I have a 2-year-old. We both make around $300,000 each and been in practice for around 3 years now. Paid off our student loans. We had started collecting money initially for a down payment on a house around 2017. Eventually didn't end up buying a house and felt too nervous to invest in stocks as it kept going up. It was a complete paralysis of which I haven't been able to come out to this day. Now we have a total of $750,000 in cash, and I don't know what to do with it. I continue to feel like I'm too late in the game and only going to lose going in at this time. We are maxing out our 401ks, and I've been doing the mega Roth conversions over the last 2 years, and our retirement folio combined stands around $450,000. I'm really not sure where to go from here. Any help will be sincerely appreciated. I'm not sure how and where I should allocate this money. Any advice will be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, you're doing lots of things great here, right? You're making $600,000 a year. You got $750,000 in cash. There are a lot of people that would love to be in your situation. Yes, you haven't bought a house, but that's not necessarily some crazy thing, right? Lots of people don't have a house until late in life. It really doesn't matter when you buy the house. What you want to do, of course, is buy it when your personal and professional situation are stable. And if that is in your 30s, that's great. If that's in your 40s, that's great too. But there's not necessarily a rush there. It's great that you're maxing out your 401ks. It's great that you're doing mega backdoor Roth IRAs. It's great that you got almost $500,000 in retirement already. So where do you go from here? Well, frankly, you need a plan, right? A written investment plan, a written financial plan that tells you what to do with your money. And these plans always start with your goals. So figure out what you want to do first, how much money you need in retirement, when you're going to need it, right? That's usually the biggest goal. And then you can work backward from there to know how high of an investment return you're going to need, how much you need to save each year, how long you need to work, etc. List your other goals out, how much money you want to have for kids for college, or when you want to buy the house, how big of a down payment you want. If you want to buy a Tesla or a boat, throw those sorts of things in there too. But build a financial plan starting with your goals and then go from there. Right? After the goals, you set up an asset allocation for each goal. Then you choose which accounts you're going to invest in for that goal. And then you choose the investments to fulfill that asset allocation. That's the easy part. If you've got an asset allocation that says you're going to put 25% of your money in US stocks, you can just go buy the US Total Stock Market Index Fund, right? It's available at Fidelity or Vanguard or Schwab or iShares or whatever. It's very easy to pick investments once you have an asset allocation. When you get analysis paralysis, what often happens is you're so worried about making a mistake, and this gets worse the more money you have. You're so worried about making a mistake that you don't do anything, which is also a mistake. And so obviously leaving money sitting in an account earning nothing, or 0.8%, maybe 1% if you're lucky, is not going to give you the same long-term returns as getting that money invested into stocks, bonds, and real estate. Yes, it might go down temporarily, but in the long run, these sorts of long-term investments are going to outperform keeping the money in cash. And so when you don't make a choice to invest, you are making a choice. You're making a choice to invest in cash. And if that's not the decision that you want to make, then you better change it. Keep in mind, if you really want to stick with safe investments, CDs, bonds, whole life insurance, cash, you have to save like 50% of your gross income for an entire career in order to be able to maintain your standard of living in retirement. You really do need your money to do some of the heavy lifting, and that means you have to take some risk. And every time you buy stocks, it feels like, oh, they're about to go down. It feels like that every time. It's been doing that to me for the last 16 years. Every time I buy them, it feels like they're about to go down. And about a third of the time, they do. But most of the time, they go up after I bought them. And certainly in the long run, they've all gone up since I bought them, since the market's at all-time highs now again. And frankly, the market's at all-time highs most of the time. And so that shouldn't necessarily be a reason not to invest. Now, some might say, well, quantitative easing, or well, we're in the middle of a pandemic, or well, stock market's at all-time highs, it has to fall. My crystal ball is cloudy. I don't really know what the future is going to hold. So I made a written investment plan that did not require me to know what the future holds in order to be successful. I've been following for the last 16 years, and guess what? It worked. I'm financially independent. I'm successful. I can do whatever I want with my life. If you will put together a sensible written investment plan and you will fund it adequately and you will stay the course with it, you will also be at that point eventually. Maybe mid-career, maybe late career, certainly by the time you retire, you will be able to, basically eliminate your financial worries. What you can't do is sit around leaving all your money in cash with analysis paralysis, trying to decide what to do for an entire career and expect to be successful. That you cannot do. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.